जम्मू कश्मीर के मुख्यमंत्री उमर अब्दुल्ला ने आज सांबा का दौरा किया और विजयपुर में स्थित एम्स में आपदा प्रबंधन एसओपी मैनुअल जारी किया। मुख्यमंत्री ने कहा, ये हमारी संस्थागत आपदा तैयारियों को मजबूत करने और पूरे क्षेत्र में बड़े पैमाने पर दुर्घटना के कारण हो रही हताहत को कम करने की दिशा में एक महत्वपूर्ण कदम है। अपने एम्स दौरे के दौरान सीएम उमर अब्दुल्ला वहां के उन्नत बुनियादी ढांचे और उच्च गुणवत्ता वाली सुविधाओं से बेहद प्रभावित हुए। उन्होंने कहा, अपनी बढ़ती क्षमताओं के साथ ये संस्थान पूरे क्षेत्र में स्वास्थ्य सेवा, चिकित्सा, शिक्षा और अनुसंधान में उत्कृष्टता का प्रतीक बनने के लिए तैयार है।
जो मैंने कहना था अपनी तकरीर में कहा, ये सही है कि मुझे लगता है अगर हम मुल्क भर के जो 22 एम्स हैं उनके तरफ देखें तो शायद सबसे बेहतरीन एम्स में जो है आज जम्मू का गिना जाएगा। यहाँ पे इलाज हासिल करने के लिए न सिर्फ जम्मू कश्मीर के मरीज़ आते हैं बल्कि आसपास के जो रियासत हैं वहाँ से भी अब मरीज़ यहाँ आना शुरू कर गए हैं। और ये इस बात के बावजूद कि अभी हाईवे पे सफ़र करना इतना आसान नहीं है। जब ये एक्सप्रेसवे मुकम्मल होगा तो मुझे लगता है इस अस्पताल में भीड़ और रश बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ेगा।
सर, गवर्नर साहब ने कहा है कि मेरा आपके साथ सीएम के साथ अच्छे ताल्लुकात हैं पर्सनली, लेकिन हमारी पावर जो है वो तो वो सब मैं अपनी पावर से बाहर नहीं जा सकता था ऐसे। तो क्या कैसे देखते हैं?
मुझे इसमें कोई कहना ही नहीं है ना। उनको मुबारक है ना, कविंदर गुप्ता साहब को मुबारक है। काम आसान नहीं है। वहाँ उस ऊंचाई पे और उस मौसम में काम को अंजाम देना वो आसान नहीं होगा, लेकिन मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि जिस मेहनत से कविंदर गुप्ता जी ने उस वक्त कोशिश की थी, बोथ एज स्पीकर एज डिप्टी सीएम, इसी तरह वहाँ लेह में भी जाके वो मेहनत करेंगे। और उनको इस बात का भी ख्याल रखना होगा कि जिस तरह यहाँ पे जम्मू और कश्मीर को बैलेंस करके चलना पड़ता है, लोगों के सेंटिमेंट का ख्याल रखना पड़ता है, वहाँ पे भी एक तरफ से लेह, दूसरे तरफ से करगिल, दोनों को साथ मिला के चलना होगा। वो चलेंगे तो कामयाब होंगे। I now have the challenge of speaking a little longer than the introduction that brought me to this podium. But let me begin with the actual purpose with which I am here and say that very rarely do I get an opportunity to inaugurate or unveil something that I hope to God never has to be put to use. Almost every time a person in my position is asked to cut a ribbon or to unveil something, it's for something that we want people to use. A hospital, a school, an education institution, a bridge, a road, a water supply scheme. Today, I've been asked to release and make available a manual for disaster management and how to cope with a mass casualty event. And therefore, I truly hope that the document I have released never has to be pulled out of a drawer and never has to be read and never has to be implemented. And I am reasonably hopeful that this will be one of those rare occasions in my tenure as Chief Minister where I hope you never have to look at what I've had to release today. But be that as it may, my mother always taught me it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. So I'd much rather we have this disaster manual and never have to use it, rather than the opposite of that, wherein we need to refer to a disaster manual and we don't have it available to us. Preparation is everything, and I don't need to tell most of you sitting in this room. You are either already doctors and experts in your field, or you're from what I can see you wearing in this fabulous auditorium. You're well on your way to getting there. Today, has truly, as Nasir rightly said, today has been an eye-opener. Very many times I've passed by this campus on my way to or from Kathua and places like that, and I've seen the evolution. I've seen it from an empty, barren piece of land to what we see now. And I'm struck by two things. If you find the right place and you find the right person to implement what you want, nothing is impossible. Three and a half years ago, none of this existed. It was a vision of the Prime Minister and his team to spread Aiims-like institutions across the country. Two things worked to get us here. One, whoever was responsible for identifying the site found one that was easily accessible, required relatively little pre-construction work to be done, but perhaps more importantly, then found a person in the form of Professor Shakti Gupta, who would lead these efforts. And make no mistake, I know it's a team effort. It always is. It would have been impossible for Professor Gupta Sahab to have done this all on his own. But even every team needs a captain. Every team needs somebody to direct it. Every team needs somebody to guide it. When we send the Indian cricket team to play matches, we don't give the power of decision to all 11 players that are going to be on the field. We give the power of decision to one, and it is for them to rally that team behind them. And similarly here, Professor Gupta, without his team, would definitely not have been able to achieve what he's been able to. But I dare say even the team, without the leadership that was given by Professor Gupta, may not have achieved as much as they have been able to do in the short time available. And I'll draw an unfortunate, in some ways even a tragic correlation. Jammu and Kashmir has two Aiims. We have an Aiims in Jammu and we have an Aiims in the valley. You only have to look at the progress of one versus the progress of the other to realize that what I'm saying is not in isolation. Both Aiims, if I'm not mistaken, were born of the same government order. Both Aiims came into existence on paper at roughly the same time. Today, one Aiims is in a position to impart both healthcare and education. The other one is still a construction site that is, I am sort of being optimistic in saying that perhaps at least a year or so away from being able to perform either of these two duties. Coupled with the fact that what I've seen today in terms of not just the systems that have been put into place, but the equipment that is available, the human resource that has been put together here. It is truly, there are no other words for it. It's truly world class. This is what we wanted. This is what we needed. Otherwise, our patients, for want of these sort of facilities, necessarily had to look beyond Jammu and Kashmir. They had to look at PGI Chandigarh, they had to look at Aiims, Delhi, they had to look at the Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute, they had to look at the Tata Memorial Cancer Institute, and so on and so forth. Today, we finally see health infrastructure in this part of Jammu and Kashmir, which is not now sending patients out, but is actually bringing patients in. Patients from not just the immediate neighborhood, but from beyond that are now looking at Aiims Jammu as the destination for their treatment. And once this expressway, the Delhi-Amritsar-Katra expressway is complete, I dare say the problem will become of deciding who is able to get treatment here and